is the food bank. And maybe I can make you understand a little bit better why it's so important to me. I grew up during the other depression. I was about 7 years old, I think, when the 29 crash came. But I remember more the hungry days after that, with my mother raising us by herself. They had, Roosevelt started a program, a work program, where the men worked building roads and parks in this country, and the women did canning and sewing. Well, we tried the canning route, but when you have to walk everywhere in those days, how could you take 3 little children to carry canned food in glass containers? I dropped one, by the way, so that I would want you to know just how important feeding the hungry people in this world is. And the food bank has been fabulous in raising funds and canned foods. So that I wanted to talk to you about our food bank. It was established by a group of compassionate people, and they created the food bank in 1983. And it became a very simple project at the beginning because they used to call it second helping. You might have heard of it. It was like if a restaurant had food left over and it was still good, it could be used to feed someone. It lasted several years, but the food bank seemed to be the best opportunity for feeding the hungry. It takes a proactive approach to providing the needs of the hungry in our community, and since 1983, South Food Bank has distributed over 1 million pounds of food. Through a network of over 200 agencies in 21 counties, food is distributed on site feeding programs, pantry programs, and voucher programs. Susan had a voucher program. She received a 100-pound box of food, right? So you can see how important it is when you're short of dough and you need to feed your family. Each month, over 145,000 meals are served through our on-site feeding programs. And the 7,500 families and individuals are assisted through pantry and voucher agencies. Each week, 500 food boxes are distributed at the food bank, and 1,400 boxes are proceeded through area agencies. Now those boxes are fabulous. This is a big box. And you get cereal, you get everything you need for the week. Staples, canned goods, packaged goods, eggs. They have eggs, they have cheese program, but you have to collect the cheese at the food bank for that. And they have eggs that they put in the basket. And on top of that, we have the Carolyn Landier Youth Farm. You probably heard Nancy. Did you ever meet Carolyn? Yes. She owned and operated the South Plains Food Bank, and she operated this, the Youth Farm. It's located at 76th and Avenue B. The farm has produced hundreds of thousands of pounds of produce for the hungry since it was established in 1988. So it isn't just staples, they give you fresh fruits and vegetables. The 5.5-acre farm is presently the home of the innovative youth program. There's a new program called GRUB. So we are trying also, at the same time, to help the youngsters become leaders in the community by learning about the program. Now that's one more. This is the GRUB program. they take care of 100 youth each year, so that they learn so much from them. They have teachers that help them with the work. They have counselors, law enforcement, and juvenile. If there's any juvenile problem, it helps them and saves some of these youngsters from becoming criminals on the street. And we need to save our youth. But let me say, one of the biggest, the best part of your youth agency is the volunteers. Volunteers come from all over the community. And the youth, the kids work during the summer, they work, and I have worked at the food bank. I've bagged apples and I've bagged potatoes. And I see the last time I went in, they brought in huge bags of flour and sugar, and then we broke them down into small packages for the food boxes. So you see there's a great deal going on. And this is the food bank. In here, there are huge freezers. And there's a refreshment area so that when you're there helping, you can have some coffee or cocoa and a little something to eat. And then they have the old rooms where you can work and do what I was doing. They always need the volunteers, believe me. And they need the girl, they need you to help pack the boxes too. But now I wanted to tell you about a little problem we have that I'm a little bit worried about. It was in the paper. The UCAN food drive this year is 70,000 pounds short on the canned foods. So that they were asking for, they always ask for cash donations. Well, they asked for 100,000. They received $130,000, which they've had to use. And I wanted to tell you about that. It seems that David Weaver is the CEO over there. He said that they bought 4 truckloads of food at $33,000 per load, plus the cost of turkeys and hams for Christmas food boxes. And Mrs. Perryman, she's the media liaison for the food bank. She said that the amount of food coming in from the agency, from the U.S. government, Department of Agriculture, has been diminishing, where they're not getting as much food as they need. But Perryman said that the food bank has come through a difficult year. Believe it or not, girls, this year, as a rule, the trucks that collect the cans at Christmas time, they are put in storage for 8 weeks. They do not use them. This year, they are using them already. So you see, we're going to have, we could develop some problems down the road because so many people are out of work, and from what Mrs. Perryman has told me, that people that have no jobs have been collecting boxes for 6 and 7 and 8 months. So you know the food just goes. And do you know that 1 can of food is a 1 pound of food? It equals 1 pound of food. That's what they tell me. I have to check that out. But anyway, I did want to let you know about the food bank, and I hope that during the program, during the year ahead, you give thought to ending hunger. They have various programs for the children. You know, the children have after school, and they're in the parks, and I know you've heard it all, or if you don't read the newspaper every day, you don't really know what's going on with the food bank. But let me say thanks for listening to me, because this is an important part of my life, and it's important to me. Thank you. Okay.
Open it up.
Open it again.
Okay. A can of food.